TPUSA finally breaks their silence, and they're basically saying that Candace Owens is making things up. Candace Owens even speaks out. We got to get into this.
PASCAL, you are now rocking with that dude Pascal.
What's up? I know. Hold up. Now, I get it. Trust me, we're going to be talking about a bunch of other things very, very soon, but every single time I turn around, okay, and come back to life, to work, there's something new that pops off revolving around this Charlie Kirk, Candace Owens, TPUSA, Thizang. This whole debacle. Is it France? Is it Israel? Is it people inside TPUSA? Is it all of them working all in tandem? Is Erica Kirk involved? There are so many freaking questions and so many things that have been thrown out by Candace Owens. Everybody's head is still spinning, even mine, okay? But one thing is for sure. TPUSA finally speaks out. They finally break their silence on all the things she has been saying, claiming that they have been a part of something, that maybe they were a part of his unaliving, when she says he was betrayed, a lot of people, including myself, are thinking, what, did they set this whole thing up? Did they set up Charlie Kirk? That's the thing a lot of us are wanting to know, right? But nonetheless, she's put out some very wild claims, and they finally speak, and they said that Candace Owens has lost her marbles and that the claims that she has no backing whatsoever, which is absolutely insane. And I just want to give you guys a quick trip down memory lane because I feel like this is the straw. This tweet is the straw that broke the camel's back, or the post, it's X or Twitter, however you call it, okay? They feel like this is the moment where TPUSA said, oh, dadgummit, we got to get up and do something about it now, right? Let me read this really quick. I know we read it yesterday, but let's just a quick trip, all right, down memory lane. She said yesterday, I received information last night that put the final pieces together for me. I now can say with full confidence that I believe Charlie Kirk was betrayed by the leadership of TPUSA, Turning Point USA, and some of the very people who eulogized him on stage. That's diabolical. Again, the people who eulogized him, there's so many different people. Erica Kirk was up there. Trump was up there. Other people, other members of TPUSA. It could be anybody, right? Everyone's a suspect, it looks like, and it's insane. But moving on. Yes, I will be naming names and providing evidence of my claims or for my claims. Then she says, and I'm making a personal plea to every well-meaning person who donated to this godforsaken organization to request a refund. You were lied to. And leadership knew. Now, I'm going to hit the dun-dun-dun because we got to. But nonetheless, you hear that. And of course, they're going to respond to that because now she's dipping into their pockets. Let's be real, y'all. Come on now. She's dipping into their pockets. As soon as she says, hey, get your money back, they're like, oh, now that's a step too far, young lady. That's what's going on right now. At least that's what it is to me. It's interesting that as soon as she starts taking money, having people ask to refund their money, that's when they start speaking out. I just think it's interesting. The timing is very interesting nonetheless. But here's the thing, all right? We have one of the, a guy that is a part of the TPUSA group. He comes out and he has a few things to say about this. He started off the show, the Charlie Kirk show, with this very statement right here that he reads on script. This is not him just talking about it. Shoot, he didn't even put it on a damn teleprompter, okay? He is reading it from a piece of paper, which I'm sure a lot of people are going to side eye as well. But let's get into it and let's take a listen to what he got to say about all of this.
We wanted to use this segment at the top of this hour to say something important, something very important. For the past 2.5 months, there is a topic that has flooded our Freedom inbox. It has been nonstop on social media, but which we have almost totally avoided on this show. You probably already know what I'm talking about, which shows just how ubiquitous it has been. Ever since Charlie's murder, Candace Owens has leveled a flood of allegations against people at Turning Point USA, people at Turning Point Action, and people who work for this show. She has made them against some of Charlie's closest friends and against some of his most dedicated employees. She has suggested that Michael McCoy, Charlie's chief of staff, knew Charlie would be murdered, was happy that he died, and stayed silent because he was told he would be the next Charlie. She has suggested Michael is not his real name. It is. I have seen his birth certificate myself.
Now, let me just say this really quick. These claims are they're intense, to say the least. And of course, he's sitting here saying, like, I can vouch for certain things that these pieces of information are not true. Again, I get it. We're going to continue, but I want to say, I get it. There are people out here that are very concerned, that cared about Charlie Kirk, or some people who care about the case solely because they heard about a guy who had a prominent voice but didn't follow him or anything of that sort, but he lost his life in a very unjust way. And the fact that the feds have not really given out as much information that would suffice the general public. All right, I get it. That would draw a lot of attention. It drew my attention as well, right? I don't listen to Charlie Kirk. With all due respect, I don't. Y'all should already know that by now. But at the same time, I am drawn to the case, and I think the way he lost his life is very mysterious. So again, I get throwing out everything and just seeing what sticks on the wall, but some claims can be, can get a little outlandish for sure. But again, like I said in the last video, where's her proof?
She has called it suspicious that Mikey's wife, who works at Turning Point, helped plan the campus tour event where Charlie was murdered, which she didn't, by the way. She doesn't work on campus events. Candace has suggested the Utah Valley University event was unusual, and its details suggested a, quote, inside job. She has claimed that foreign aircraft have followed Erica Kirk around the country and that Turning Point has lied about this happening. She has accused us of lying about Charlie wanting Erica to take over for him if he died. She has suggested Charlie's security team intentionally denied him first aid after the shooting to ensure that he died.
That's insane.
She has raised suspicions about the head of our technical team because he took an SD card out of a camera. She has spread absurd claims that Tyler Boyer, who we just had on the show, sexually abuses male interns. She has suggested that TPUSA faith-affiliated pastors, like theologian Frank Turek, who we'll have on in a moment, and Pastor Rob McCoy, are part of a military, quote, infiltration of Turning Point, either because they are veterans or because they have family members who are. Even if not everyone has been named specifically, though, Candace has effectively tarred everyone here with complicity in Charlie's death by repeatedly saying he was, quote, betrayed by, quote, everyone. She has said Charlie's murder, quote, had to be approved by Charlie's friends, and then suggested those friends might have her murdered too for, quote, knowing the truth. She has made claims of financial impropriety and fraud at Turning Point, adding up into the millions of dollars, which, again, is not true. Charlie made sure the organization was audited by a third party every year. He personally reviewed and he signed off on every expense report, and literally every single bill paid by the organization down to a single United States dollar. We have never missed a 990 deadline. Candace has made other stranger allegations involving French paratroopers in maroon shirts, Egyptian Air Force planes flying out of Provo, Utah, and potential underground assassins traveling through unseen tunnels. At one point, in early November, she started wildly throwing suspicion on members of Utah Valley's soccer team for wearing hoodies. I could go on. There is always something new coming up, and none of it ever pans out, because from the start, there has been nothing there.
Okay, so again, and we're going to play the rest of it, and sorry, I sped it up a little bit, just so you guys know, all right? So nothing's wrong with the phone, nothing's wrong with your phone, nothing's wrong with the internet or anything of that sort. I just sped it up. But here's the thing, though. I said it, too. There's a lot of information that she is dropping like crazy seems like every day now, that comes with no backup. I see their point, okay? But then I can see how people will look at this and go, why isn't he just speaking from the heart? Why is he reading from the script? Maybe because there's so many claims that she has put out here that he's not going to be able to remember every single last one of those things, and he's just got to read from the paper so he doesn't forget. That could be it too, or a team of people helped him put this whole statement together so that they can get it all done in one less than 8 minute long video. Maybe that's what it is too, but let's continue.
The attacks and allegations from Candace are either lies or they are innuendos thrown around with a total reckless disregard for the truth so that Candace can manipulate and string along an audience of people who don't realize they are being played. Instead of being able to grieve properly after one of the most heinous murders in American history, a murder many of us had to witness, my friends have had to endure harassment from people who have gotten whipped up by what Candace is saying. In fact, I would say we have suffered more harassment from these people than we have from Antifa supporters who overtly celebrate Charlie's murder. And just like a lot of those Antifa members, many of these people take this delight in how gross and unpleasant they can be. What our friends have had to endure is not funny, and it's not insignificant. It is evil. I have seen it. For months, we have received hundreds, thousands, I suspect, emails and calls asking us to respond. People have wanted us to invite Candace on the show. But for a long time, our approach was to say nothing. We did that for several reasons. First, we thought that her prevarications were so absurd that nobody would believe them. We shouldn't have to answer questions about secret tunnels or Egyptian Air Force planes. That sort of thing is just, it's beneath contempt to respond to. The second reason we've said so little, though, is because there's a good rule of thumb, which Charlie followed. Do not feed the trolls. Focus on the mission. Reviving America, uplifting young people, making heaven crowded. Don't give air to people who want to tear you down and sow discord.
And what did he also said, like, go out, touch grass, that kind of thing. But I mean, I get it. Like, you can't answer to every single freaking claim that comes out of Candace's mouth or any other person's mouth. But at the same time, I feel like it's good that they finally have come out and are speaking out now. It just took months for them to start speaking out. You know, let's just be nice, maybe weeks for them to finally address all of these elephants that have been put into this room. Okay, the room is definitely getting crowded with all these mother-loving elephants. I will say that. Okay, so it's about time. But I can see how people could look at this, you know, timeline wise and say, "Oh, you're just doing this so you can save your money." I can see that too. But let's continue.
Lastly, we didn't respond because Charlie always viewed Candace as a friend, and we were holding out hope that she would return that friendship and stop what she was doing.
Well, here's the thing, though. Sure, you can go down that route of like, oh, yeah, you know, we were hoping that, you know, she'd realize that they were friends. Sure. But at the same time, if you got somebody who's literally saying out loud, I will not stop until I find out exactly what happened to my friend Charlie, her loyalty lies with him, not with TPUSA, especially if she already thinks something sinister happened within the organization, right? So again, crazy, still crazy, but you know, you can go the whole route of like, we thought you would just become friends with us too. I understand that approach, but at the same time, clearly she was going to go scorched earth. Clearly she was going to go scorched earth, no matter what, right? She ain't trying to make friends. She got plenty of friends, I guess, right? So, very interesting.
But a week from now, it's going to be 3 months since Charlie's murder. Candace has not changed her behavior. She has continued to spread falsehoods about Charlie's friends, and she continues to concoct new ones about new people. She's using these falsehoods to enrich herself while dividing the conservative movement at an absolutely critical time for this country. And far too often, we here have heard from ordinary people who loved Charlie and who Charlie loved so much in return. These people have expressed the worry that we are staying silent out of cowardice or as some sort of tacit admission that some of the attacks are true. Neither is the case. Our silence has never been, and it will never be, equal to complacency or approval. Still, we decided Charlie would not allow this to go on. Charlie was not a coward. Charlie was a fighter. Charlie would not allow someone to spread lies about the people closest to him with impunity. And he would feel ashamed if other people were stepping up to defend his friends while he never did so himself. Candace has mentioned several times that the ball is in our court. So here's what is going to happen. In the near future, there will be a live stream here in Phoenix where we address in a clear and comprehensive way the claims and accusations, the false accusations that have been made against Charlie's family, friends, and the people here at Turning Point. We plan to walk through everything carefully and thoroughly. If Candace is available, we would sincerely welcome her participation in that live stream at our studio here in Phoenix. At this point, we believe the ball is back in her court. Our motivation for doing this is not out of any obligation to Candace. It is about honoring Charlie. We feel a deep responsibility to protect his legacy, his work, and the truth. I feel that. I owe Charlie everything in my life. I feel it immensely. And that is why we feel compelled to speak clearly and openly now. We'll have more on this in the near future.
Now, okay, you heard that. This is some crazy stuff. Now they're sitting here saying like, yeah, we're going to break down every single thing. We're going to debunk or confirm or deny any of these claims that have been dropped out here over the past several weeks. We're done with it. Let's talk about it. Let's just address the situation and be done with this and put it all to bed. And then, of course, he says, hey, you know, if Candace Owens is available and she got time to be a part of the conversation, by all means, come on, be a part of the conversation. Now, what's interesting is she said, oh, yeah, come on, baby. Game on, baby. Let's go. Let's take a look at this. This is interesting.
All right, you guys, it's happening. It's happening. Everybody stay calm. After yesterday's episode where we went kind of for the jugular with Turning Point USA, because really I think everybody in the entire world has had enough with the non-response, trying to move on, trying to gaslight us, not answering basic details. So we just went for it. And guess what? Turning Point has moved to formally respond to all of the things that we have said. And after a very long diatribe in which they wildly misrepresent the public and global investigation of Charlie Kirk's assassination, they at long last issued a public invitation or a challenge. I'm not sure what it is, but I accept.
Now, I want to say this. I don't see it as a challenge. I don't see it as a challenge. Like, what? A debate? You see what I'm saying? It's like, I feel like this should just be a full-on discussion where they all just get in one room. I guess they're going to be doing this live and just have a conversation about this whole thing. And if you really think about it, I got to say it like this too, okay? Let's address this too. Candace Owens right now has one of the biggest podcasts out there, okay? She has allegedly surpassed Joe Rogan, I think. But nonetheless, wouldn't that be good for Turning Point USA to have her on their platform on such a hot topic? This would be very big for them, right? And I'm sure she says in a little bit like, y'all can tithe or, you know, ask for money and do fundraising. I don't care, right? But nonetheless, she's accepting the invitation for a conversation. I don't see, like I said, I don't see this as a debate. Maybe she's seeing it dressed up as a debate in her own mind. I just don't see it. I just don't see it personally. This should be a discussion between these two parties where they hash this thing out, get her on the same page with them, or she exposes them for what she believes to be the liars that they are, right? But let me continue. She got more.
Okay. Quite literally, all we have ever asked for were sensible answers to our basic questions about what transpired on September 10th. And it looks like we're going to get those things. So major win. I am excited. Also, later on in the show, what I have.
Now, here's the thing. She's very excited about that. I mean, obviously, some of us can look at that and say she's very excited for the, you know, I'm sure she's very excited because this is gonna be huge, right? I will watch that, okay? For sure. We might live stream that doggone thing our damn selves and do a whole watch party watching them go tete-a-tete on this whole Charlie Kirk debacle. Okay, this whole Charlie Kirk tragedy that has turned into a debacle because of all the rumors and the speculations and the conspiracy theories and all that. It has been absolutely insane. Let me be real. But I don't see this as a debate. It shouldn't be a debate, right? It's, hey, were you guys involved in this stuff or not? I've heard from this, that, and the third. Let's talk about it. If you have proof, show me that proof, right? I don't see a challenge. That's what I'm basically trying to say. Challenge should not be like challenge accepted. I just don't see the challenge. This should be a discussion so that they can get a better understanding between themselves. Or we'll see TPUSA either flounder and lie through their damn teeth, or she'll look like she's insane. Or she will be vindicated because they look like Boo Boo the Fool in real time. I don't know, but she says more here. Let's take a listen to this part too.
You should be ashamed to sit across from people who did everything they could to stop Charlie's rise, breaking bread with them and refusing to have a conversation with me, and you know that I cared about Charlie.
Now, here's the thing. Obviously, we don't know everything that happens behind closed doors. I don't know if she was reaching out to TPUSA constantly, trying to get them to speak to her or something like that. I don't know about all that. But what I do know is that she is clearly livid about something. And the way she alludes to it, it sounds like she was leaving the door open for conversation and they kept shutting it closed. That's what it sounds like to me. If they did that, that's on TPUSA, and that makes TPUSA look sus as hell. Doesn't mean that they had anything nefarious in connections to Charlie Kirk's, unaliving, but it is a bad look if those claims are to be true.
Have you no shame? We're going to find out. You can pick the place. You can pick the time. I say we do it tomorrow. We don't need to plan for this. We don't need lawyers in between us, lawyer statements. It's not how I roll, okay? I don't care about any of that. I want it to be authentic. Like I said, you can take the money. We can raise money live for this conversation. That is how badly the world is demanding it.
Now, I agree. The world is demanding some more clarity and some more information. But I will say this. Yes, there have been people independently side-eyeing TPUSA from the get-go, from when this whole thing went down. Okay, from the moment that a hand signal or hat signals or the SD card situation or how they operated before, during, and even after he was hit, right? All those things I get. And yes, we do deserve some clarity because they're the people that worked very closely to Charlie Kirk, right? So again, questions I have, but let's continue.
So I accept it with whistles and bells, everything I fully accept. I say, let's do it tomorrow. Let's do it tomorrow.
I say, shoot, if you want to do it tomorrow, baby, do it tomorrow. We are all down for it. I want to see all this stuff come out and all the information come out. And here's the thing. If she's lying, if she's just full on making this stuff up, or let's be real. Let's be also real here. There could be a combination of a bunch of different things. Just her theories, right? Her theories. Or it could be sources that are giving her information that she believes were properly vetted that may not be reliable sources. Think about that too. So again, there could be a possibility where we see Candace Owens, like I said, look like she's on point with all this stuff and they are floundering, or she looks like the fool. Hey, this is the hill she's willing to die on. So let's see what happens here. But again, what say you guys? What are your thoughts on this? What do you think of TPUSA's statement? Do you agree with it? Do you think it's just one big fat ass lie? Do you think it's a fugazi? Do you think that they're lying? Do you think Candace Owens is on point with this situation or no? I'm telling you right now, when they do have this conversation, when they actually do have this conversation live, we're gonna watch it. We're gonna watch it live, baby. There's no way that we're gonna not watch that mother lover live. You gotta be out your damn mind. We're gonna be watching that live. So get ready for it, y'all, because it's gonna be something else. I guarantee you. Either side is gonna look like the fool. Period. I don't think that we're gonna come out of it confused. That's just my prediction. I think there's going to be a situation where we're going to find ourselves leaning more to one side rather than the other. I don't think we're all going to be scratching our heads going, I don't know who to believe anymore. No, I think you're going to see in real time, oh, damn, yeah, they got a point, or, ooh, she's got a really solid point here. We'll see what happens, though, okay? Let me know your thoughts. Comment down below. Hit that like button down below. Crush that subscribe button. And we'll be talking here soon. Be safe out there, guys. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.
Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild.